Yeah.
That
They
happened.
closed the factories down because they didn't want to put the people inside the factories and keep everybody quarantined, and then they just didn't have the overhead to open it back up.
Crazy.
Hmm.
The one of the interesting things is that that's happened with a number of different boat brands. I don't know if you remember Seven Marine.
No.
It was some of the viewers or listeners might know what this is, but Seven Marine was an outboard company owned by Volvo. And instead of making an inboard, they made an outboard with the Chevy LS platform. And they were like 600 horsepower. Seven was their own marine. Volvo bought them, and within a year or two, Volvo had basically bankrupt the company.
There you go. Sometimes you'll have that.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit more about Paugus Bay Marina. It's one of the things that's cool about this area is that there's not a lot of written history on some of these marinas, and they've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Paugus Bay Marina.
So Paugus Bay opened their doors in 1995 under Kevin Keenan, which that last name will probably be familiar because the current owners are Chris and Corey Keenan.
Interesting. So family business?
Family business. So
Interesting.
Chris and Corey, their uncle, Kevin, was the one that opened the marina, and he started it actually as a valet-only marina.
Huh.
So a lot of the businesses or marinas around here were doing in-water slips, and he didn't do that to start off, and that's where everything's transitioned to, which is why I would probably say we're really set up for where the market is shifting to,
Yeah.
especially in our area where there's not as many boat slips in the water, but there's so many now out of the water with valet.
That's a really good point you bring up because there's only so many slips on the lake. And that wasn't, that was the case 10 or 15 years ago, but the demand for slips was not as high as it is today. So if you were someone that's not from the area, maybe you want to keep your boat on the water, 10, 15 years ago, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
And if marinas didn't have a spot for you, chances are you could find someone that did have a slip that would rent it to you. Now it's completely shifted. I mean,
Yeah.
it couldn't have shifted any more drastically than it has. You've got marinas that have, some of them at one location have 200 valet spots.
Yep.
We know the reason why the market has shifted, but what are some of the problems you're seeing from this sort of, in water slip to valet, and what suggestions would you give someone who's getting into or exploring getting into valet?
So this is kind of the way I do sales is I talk to you and I try and find out who you are, what you like to do, and what you're looking for in a boat. And so I look at that avenue as the same as how I look at where I'm going to place you in the system, whether that's valet and a boat slip, different kind of stuff like